Boom. Touched it, burned her. Like, don't believe fat meat's greasy. I'm telling you this from experience. I've done this before. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the meantime, in between time, welcome to episode 24. You already know we are Kobe in the game. It's your boy Corey Giovanni and Bobby with an I, not a Y, because a Y is for a guy. Talk to him, Bobby. Let him know what we're giving him.
What's going on, gang? Today, just know you're tuned in to Technically Speaking, where we give you news that you can use.
So as you see, we are missing one of the trio. Gmo is out in LA. Shout out to Gmo. I know he's tuning in because he want to see if we get the job done. Yeah, bro, we got the job done. So in the meantime, like I said, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about today, Bobby.
You know, we're gonna hit them with a couple of topics. We're gonna go into what's happening in the movie theaters today. We're gonna talk a little bit about Smile 2. Have you seen Smile 2 before?
I have not. I'm a scaredy cat. I ain't gonna lie. No, because when I can sit in the movie theater and watch a scary movie and be fine, but when I'm at home by myself, those thoughts come back up, and I'll be like, nope, I am not ready for it. I just can't. I can't. Thanks. However, a lot of people did because guess what? It opened up with 23 million.
That's a lot.
That's pretty good for. I guess this is considered the horror season, right? You know what I'm saying?
This is the horror season, is Halloween season, it's fall season, harvest season, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Pumpkin patch is where it's at.
I love pumpkin patches. I don't know about you or what they do in California, but pumpkin patches are huge here. Huge.
Funny thing, I didn't really know anything about pumpkin patches until I became a father, because I just looked at pumpkins like pumpkin seeds. I would eat them, and then people would carve faces in them during Halloween.
Yeah.
But when I became a father, sure enough, had kids at the pumpkin patch, and
we didn't do the pumpkin patches growing up. But as a mom, I wish we would have, because they're simple. They're simple things. There's a big Lutheran church not too far from our house, and they put on big pumpkin patch festivals. They got vendors come out. They got food trucks. They got this gigantic tarp with like 12 different moon bounces on it and stuff. And like, they got like little petting zoo, little train, bunch of stuff for the kids and everything. So like those little fall activities are real nice. This morning, in the San Antonio area, we woke up. It was about 60 degrees. It's a little chilly. And stuff.
60 degrees is very cold.
But it was nice. It's some nice fall weather, because it's been very hot here, and we haven't had any rain in over a month, I believe. So it is dry.
That's well, is that a good thing? Because of the fact that sometimes, obviously, other parts of the country have been getting a crazy amount of rain, and it's like everybody has their thing. Like California, we get rain only 3 times a year, like 3 months out of the entire year. But when it comes, it's ridiculous, right?
Oh yeah.
So do you guys get rain?
Ours is like little spurts.
Right. That's what I was about to ask.
Like never enough. It's almost never a month. And unfortunately, because San Antonio actually sits inside of like a crater, so there's some things that do happen. There's good things that happen when it rains. Our ground is more stable, because when there's a lot of cracking and dryness, it can cause foundation issues, which San Antonio is known to have a lot of foundation issues, unfortunately. But also because we sit in a crater, whenever it rains, there's really bad chances of it actually flooding really bad in some places. And there's been obviously, they say turn around, don't drown for a reason, people.
Wow.
And everybody's like, oh, I can get through this. And just there have been families lost, unfortunately, because of that and stuff. I hope you're never in that situation, but if you are, those signs are there for a reason. Let's stay safe out there.
Yeah, man, I'm keeping 100, keeping 1,000. Me personally, I don't like to do nothing in the rain but sleep.
I do not like driving in the rain. If it ain't life-threatening emergency, I'm not going to be out chilling and just be like out there driving in the rain.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the worst things happen in the rain on the road. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, if I ain't got to go out, I don't have to. There was a point when I was in my early younger years of fatherhood. I wouldn't even. Sometimes I wouldn't take my kids to school in the rain because of the fact that I feel like, hey, real talk, I don't want them to get sick, and I don't like driving in the rain. People crazy. California is people drive like they ain't got no sense, and I'm like, that's crazy.
People do that everywhere, but here, what gets me real mad is like 18-wheelers come up alongside little cars, and they create like a little force field full of water, and it goes onto the windshield, and so you can't see because there's so much water. That windshield wiper is not going fast enough.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous.
I don't like it.
But in the meantime,
what else we got going on in the movie theaters?
Okay, so We Live in Time. You know, I want to say I've seen that trailer.
I was about to say the same thing. I think the last time I went to the movie theaters, we saw, and I wouldn't recommend this movie. It wasn't bad. I just wouldn't be like, yo, you got to go see this. We saw Beetlejuice.
How was that?
Interesting. I think the only good thing I can say about it is that they obviously used original characters. That's a big deal. Yeah. When you're trying to like remake a movie, you don't bring all brand new actors. If you can bring people from the original movie onto the cast and stuff, it obviously makes for a better dynamic because you already know how they worked together before.
Right.
For the movie and stuff. And so that was good. The storyline wasn't bad, but it was a bit much.
I look at Beetlejuice is the friendly Candyman. You've seen Candyman, or have you heard about Candyman?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think what in reality happened is people was watching Beetlejuice and then end up like, oh, let's make this a little more scarier, and then Candyman involved because you say Beetlejuice name 3 times, you come around, right?
Yeah.
You say Candyman 3 times, somebody dies.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, you know what I'm saying? I look, man. I'm just not the one for scary. I'm one of them creators that's like, even if it's funny, scary, nah, I can't do it. Last time I saw a scary movie, it was Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm the person who was screaming in the theater. I was like, no. And then, mind you, this movie came out, I think it was past Halloween. It was like in November or December that year. I did not want to go anywhere alone, probably for about a year, because of the fact that it was too scary. And everybody has their thing. Like, I could watch Freddy, I could watch Jason, but zombies? I can't deal with zombies because I just can't. Like, even if you shoot them, they don't die unless you shoot them in the head.
I get it. Like, some of that stuff's kind of probably realistic feeling, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think don't laugh at me. Nah, I'm just playing. You're welcome to laugh at me. I have even when I was a kid, I had nightmares after actually watching Jurassic Park.
No, that's scary.
The dinosaurs eating people. While I know the movie itself is like it's really cool. Steven Spielberg did a great job with Jurassic Park. And even actually all the sequels that led up to after that first one and stuff, they were really good because again they used a lot of the same actors.
Right.
And the movie was really good, but I've had many nightmares being chased by like T-Rexes and stuff, and waking up in like these sweats. I'm like, I can't do it.
Were they spitting out at you like?
No, man, it's the Velociraptors too because they're intelligent. You know what I mean? They pick up on things. I'm like, I can't. We got AI dinosaurs now. Like, I can't.
Right? No, for real. Because real talk, like I'm saying, I be thinking it's way to the left. All right. Yeah. So the other day, I was just having this thought. What if dinosaurs were to actually come back? Right?
I believe there's people trying to make that happen.
No, of course. I see people, they deep diving in. I seen something on Instagram, blew my wig. There was somebody had put a head out of the ocean of a monster, sea
No
monster.
way.
No, I'll tag you in it.
Send it to me because now I'm
Yeah.
curious.
And I was like, what in the world is this? I was like, this is scary, but yet intriguing at the same time. It's almost like how people like to go to movie theaters and they going to see a fear movie, but it's like, I can't stop looking at it, although I should. But it was like, and I'm just thinking, like, what kind of defense mechanism we have against dinosaurs? A whole lot of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm telling you, art imitates life, and life imitates art. Just think about it. I think we said it on an episode before, where we had people that was looking at their phones and actually seeing a person looking at their phone. It was in the movie Triple X with Vin Diesel and Samuel L. Jackson. And then next thing you know, now we got FaceTime.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some stuff like that in the future.
Yeah, those
if
things
we don't,
kind of become in reality.
Yeah. So let's move on to this subject right here. Make it make sense. All right. So it's a new subject we brought up, and I have to tell you this. It is very complicated with make it make sense, because I was like, what are the stuff that we say? And so I remember growing up, right? My mom was like, you do as I say, not as I do, right?
Yeah.
And the question is, but should you? You feel what I'm saying? Because our parents tell us to do certain things, and they say, we want you, I don't want you to be like me, I want you to be better than me. But if we not supposed to do what you do, do what you say as you do, but we see you. I learn better. You know what I'm saying? I learn better when I see somebody doing something instead of somebody saying something. What's your take on that?
So I feel like I have a have an okay memory of like different things growing up, and I'm not gonna say who, but somebody in my direct family was, smoking a blunt, telling me, "Don't be like me," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But
right, like
you're doing all of that, but you're telling me not
to
do it, but you're doing it in front of me.
Yeah, but why?
You don't want to be
like, yeah.
I don't smoke blunts.
Right.
It's not been my thing, but as a parent, I have found myself saying that. Not something I'm proud of.
Okay.
The other day I'm not perfect. Listen, folks, I ain't perfect. None of us are.
None of us are.
I get frustrated. I get emotionally frustrated when the kids are talking to me, especially when I ask them to do something and I'm having to say it 2 or 3 times. Listen, I'm gonna blow my lid because I said it nice the first 2 times, and if you truly cared about the words that I'm saying, and you know what I mean, like we could accomplish this, but you didn't want to do it the first 2 times. So now I got to get loud with you. Right. And then I said something the other day, and I was like, I don't drop no F words around my kids. That's hard stuff. I'm like, man, I might have. I'll be honest with you. We all got those days. I'm like, man,
yeah.
Listen to what the hell I'm telling you. And my daughter was like, oh my gosh, you can't cuss like that in front of us. I was like, do as I say, not as I do.
Because what it does is it makes it. I get where you're coming from, because when you do say, you know what I'm saying, a H word or damn it, then the focus is taken off of what was wrong, and is now focusing on the bad word that was used.
And that's what happens. You hear me say it, but you don't know what led up to my reasoning for why it became this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't drop F-bombs in front of my kids. I do not call them names.
Right.
I've heard some people be like, man, get your dumb ass over here. And I'm like, do not talk to your kids.
Do not talk to kids like that.
Do not talk to your kids like
period.
that. Because I'm telling you, they remember. They remember you talking down to them like that. Also, that's not kind. Don't expect your kids to be respectful when you're talking like that to them. So while I know my daughters won't repeat that necessarily, it doesn't exactly make me a shining example. But hey, We got our limits as parents.
Yes.
We got our limits.
One thing is, I can truly say is, there's no manuscript for parenting. There's not. There's no manuscript for adulting. All we can do is pray, and we do what we know we should do. I mean, nobody. You show me a perfect parent, I'll show you somebody who's doing something that they got no business to be doing. Because we don't see everything. But I know because my mom wasn't the cursing out type of person.
Yeah.
There was one time where she did curse me, and it scarred me. I think I even still talk to my therapist about it from this time as I get older. However, not in the same breath as how it did when I was younger, because I healed from that. However, it's like I believe words have power, right? Words have power. What you say will come to fruition. So if you tell your children they're going to be great, they're going to be great. You tell them that you're going to do good. You just got to keep at it. Then they're going to do good, and they're going to keep at it because you're saying something over them that you want to see happen. Right. And you repeat it. You know what I'm saying? As believers, as a Christian, I believe in what you say will manifest. Words, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So I say those things in a positive aspect. So to make sure that my kids understand that when they get older, like, oh yeah, I am. I am the righteousness of God. That's right. And then, you know what I'm saying? They understand that, oh, I am who God says I am, or I am this great, mighty individual my father and my mother has been instilling to me since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good topic. So for those of you who are tuned in, drop a comment and let us know what's your position on the do as I say, not as I should, not as I do position. What do you think? What are your flaws when it comes to this?
Right? Or have you ever heard the phrase and was like, yeah, I ain't listening to that. Say I'm not listening to. If you ever said that because of the fact that the person who was telling you that, you didn't hold their word value, because what it is to me, it's the person we hold value to who says it, right?
Yeah.
So if I say like, what's the phrase? If I tell somebody else's son, like, hey, you're going to be a leader. You're going to be a leader, and you're not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do. I mean, they may not take it seriously from me because we don't have that relationship. But the relationship that you do have with somebody who you're intimate with, and when I say that, I don't mean intimate like physical. I'm talking about like respectfully and emotionally, understandably. Like if I say, saying young man, talking to my nephew, talking to my son, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, you're bright, intelligent, and amazing. You can do that.
Yeah.
They will receive it from me better than they would a stranger, right? But yeah, I like that. Do as I say, not as I do. I said that once before, and I felt so bad when I did say it because of the fact that it was like, are you reprogramming your kids like you were programmed, or are you going to do better? And so I had to eat crow, and I went back to my children and apologized to them because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a better example. So instead of me telling you don't do as I should say, do as I do, you can do as I do, right? And then I give them living examples. Like every morning, they know that, you know what I'm saying? I wake up, I'm on my Bible, and then like, I'm doing something that's uplifting and positive to me. You know what I'm saying? And I want them to do the same. And then sometimes we have these conversations where, how are you doing? I'm good. So how are you feeling? Check in with me, because of the fact that once you're able to express how you feel, sometimes you'll be able to fix how you feel without having to go through something.
About a week ago, I was I had a confrontation with somebody who I know is my friend. I know that they have good intent on what they're telling me, but their delivery of what the message was just terrible. It was terrible, and I was doing my best not to hold it against the person, but all day long I felt like an ugliness in my spirit. All day long it was grudgingly. And so when I got home, I was still harboring that feeling. And I could tell that it was affecting how I was talking to people. And I was like, okay, I need to fix me for a second. So I don't know what you do to calm down or to kind of get yourself back in check, and like a mental check. This is what I had to do. And so I ended up not immediately after the kids went to bed and stuff. I ended up going to take a shower, and I ended up putting praise and worship music on while I was in the shower. There's something about water. There's always something about water. And so obviously the cleanliness and just taking that moment, I was like, okay, I'm hurting for something, about something. And I felt so much better after like a 20-minute just praise and worship session, just letting me get this off my chest for a minute and stuff. And it made a difference because, how we consume things in our world daily, when we probably don't mean to, but we do bring them home. And the last thing you want to do is bring that into your bedroom and hand that to your spouse.
Right.
He has no idea. He doesn't know the person that I was working with, that said these things and how they hurt me, and he's not aware of those, and I can't bring those into our space.
Right.
Trying to breathe it into our space and stuff.
I understand that completely. However, I do believe that, he probably would understand. He did and understand. At the
end of the day, he said, when I was going to bed, and he ended up actually telling me, he goes, I know it's bothering you. Tell me what it is. So I am going to give him credit for this. He said, is it possible she was having an off day? Is it possible? I said, absolutely, it's possible. Absolutely. Right. He says, I know it's going to be a hard pill for you to swallow, but this is the part about being a Christian, is where you have to extend grace to these people.
Yeah.
Like you want grace extended to you.
Extended to you, right.
And I'm like, dang it, babe, be quiet.
I'm not trying to hear that right now.
I wasn't trying to hear that. Exactly. I wasn't trying to hear that.
But you know what I'm saying? I totally understand where he's going. Shout out to Don, aka Dr. Poole. He said, I don't have kids, so I can't say. But hypocrisy is real and hard to explain.
It's hypocrisy, though. You can use it even in a work sense.
If you have employees and your employees is late because they see that you come to work 5-10 minutes late. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest, when I worked in corporate America, I did what my bosses did. If my boss came to work early, I came to work early. If he took a 2-hour lunch, I was on an hour and 30-minute lunch. Because I was like, well, he did it because it's the thing about it. He did well. That was in the beginning, because of the fact that I tell anybody when I got hired at that new position, I pushed the limit, and I'm talking about when I pushed the limit. Oh God,
worry.
Yeah, no, hey, I don't work there no more. They were like, okay, here's the thing. I saw my manager. My manager was like, just put it on your employee card. Put it on your employee card. Put it on your employee card. I was like, okay. Well, my employee card hasn't came yet. I just got this new position, and we had to travel to Chicago for training, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just pay for it and put it on my employee card. When I get back, I get reimbursed, right? I went and bought groceries because I was in Chicago for 2 weeks. I know, Dr. Poole, we've been having some discrepancies because I'm not on Instagram right now, but we trying to work that out. Really, I am, because I'm not sure exactly how it's not going, because it says that I'm logged in on there.
Hey, Donald, what's up?
What's up, Dr. Poole? But yeah, nonetheless, it's like, and it goes back to, you know what I'm saying, do as I say, not as I do, because my manager was like, he's like, Corey, I can come to work late and leave early, because I have a different accountability than you do. And I'm like, I see what you mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
when it comes to leadership, I talk about this all the time because I like to see good, strong leaders. I like to see people who, they're going to put their best foot forward, but they're not going to expect something of you that they won't do themselves.
Right.
I'll never ask one of my soldiers to go and do something that I myself haven't done first. If you're going to go get your hands dirty, we're going to get our hands dirty together. This is not, we're not going to delegate so much work to where we're like, oh, that's beneath me. Like no leader should ever feel like some employee's work is beneath them. Ever.
Exactly. I feel the same way about parenting. Like if I'm gonna clean these toilets, when you get of age, you're gonna clean these toilets. I'm gonna show you how to do it, because when I do it, you're gonna watch me clean these toilets, and then you're gonna clean these damn toilets. Point blank.
Hear you.
All
so
right.
On the topic of making it make sense, we're in the month of October. We're in the scary season, whatever you want to call it.
Ooh.
Let's talk real quick. There's a lot of different movies in the theaters, coming out and stuff. So probably a lot of them rated R, but your typical horror movies, right?
Right.
So when we talk about making it make sense, what is it about horror flicks, that people love feeling fear? What do you think? Where do you think that comes from?
Honestly, I don't know. I know that there's childhood trauma that I know I've experienced that made me scared. Like let me tell you something. Before Dawn of the Dead, I was scared of Pee Wee Herman. Okay, when Marge, tell him Marge sent you when he got off of that he hitched the ride off of the big rig with the lady, and she went all bug-eyed and bug-wild. Scared the fire out of me. I was like, I could not watch it. I never forget. I was 6 years old. It was on Channel 5. Every time that scene came, I ran out of the room after the first time I saw it. Totally scared. I'm probably a little bit scared of it now if I see it, because of the fact that it could be just a childhood trauma trigger. I know, childhood trauma trigger. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. But I think some people correlated with them having a good time when they were kids, right? It could be a memory thing, but I don't know. I just can't do it. Like, I don't like being scared.
I have a lot of PTSD, and I have it's very easy for me to have nightmares, and so I have to be careful and discern what I watch.
Right.
To prevent that from happening, because unfortunately, just like most of us do, when you're in the middle of a dream, you can't do nothing about it. Yeah, sit there and deal with whatever you're dreaming.
Yeah, no, for real.
So, it's just, that's not something I want to be dreaming about.
Nah, it's not, because you wake up and you may be soaking in wet or soaking in something else, because you be scared and be like,
we were talking a little bit right before we went live, like about childhood trauma and stuff, and I had mentioned to you about Jurassic Park. Really invoked a lot of fear and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, dreaming about the dinosaurs. I get you when it comes to the zombies, but I think the biggest things that I don't like watching are horror movies that are based on true stories.
Yeah, man.
So when we talk about like a lot of the movies, like movies, even like I don't think this one was based on a true story, but I know there are stories based around it. We talk about like The Exorcist, and stuff like that, people being possessed, and God, what is it? The Haunting of Emily Rose or something like that. I haven't seen it, but somebody was telling me the same thing too. Like, those terrify me, because whatever belief system you have in everything, and just kind of bringing it back down to earth for a second. We live in a very spiritual world. And so the idea of people invoking spirits, using Ouija boards and witchcraft to bring these things to light and stuff, are things that terrify me. Because that's the realness. That's an enemy is what I would call it. That's an enemy, and it's not something to be played with. It's not something to take lightly either.
Right.
So I would encourage you, be safe around this time of year and stuff. Always some Halloween shenanigans happening, pranks going too far,
Yeah,
Kids
for real.
thinking, that they're grown and they start, messing with the Ouija board and things start to happen. And I've I haven't
Yeah,
personally seen it, thank God, but I've heard stories from people who have messed around and found out that
yeah,
FAFO, the F around
yeah.
find out, they found out. They
No, for
found
real.
out and were never the same again type of find out. So,
Exactly. So you know how they talk about, weed is a gateway drug.
oh yeah.
Movies could be a gateway to um the demonic, I would say.
Yeah.
And for those who's watching and may not believe in stuff like that, okay, well just look at it like this. If you dress your kid up as a devil every Halloween, and then he grow up and it seems like something's wrong with him, that's because you made him depict himself as a devil for a couple years over and over and again. I truly believe our actions create our futures if you don't correct bad patterns and behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of the things that, you know, the movies that had these horror, these like some of the ones that like actually they say they actually happened, like Poltergeist, right? There's quite a few of those characters that are alive that are not alive now, and those, there's darkness and evil is real.
So that's interesting because there's I don't know if there's a documentary, don't quote me on that, but I know that there's articles and YouTube videos on things that happened on the set while those movies were being filmed. If I'm not mistaken, on the set of The Exorcist, I think that they had 2 Catholic priests on set because there were things happening.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm sorry, when you got to start calling Catholic priests to kind of bless off on things because things are going wrong just in the filming process, yeah, man, maybe that's a big red flag.
A red flag. I mean, but see, then that goes to the people with the money. They like, well, this show has to go on. I'm like, but
the show has to go on.
Really? You know, I'm about to pull something up. The Exorcist.
I'm positive it was The Exorcist. There was a lot of stuff happening around that.
See, there's Exorcist true story documentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is they said that there was a real Exorcist story in St. Louis, Missouri, in March 23rd, 2022, and then The Exorcist is based on an actual DC area exorcism. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. Every little lie or fib,
there's some truth to it.
There's some truth to it. There is some truth to it. You know, shout out to Dr. Pooh. Some movies are scary, but it's disturbing videos that freak me out. Every 3 seconds, there's something different, like a burning doll or maggots on a sandwich type thing. But he said, I obsessed with the occult movie. I understand you. However, I'm just not one for it, fam. I'm telling you, like, I never forget. I always wanted to watch The Exorcist. I never have. 2 reasons. One, I wasn't the only person scared to watch it. My older brother, he saw it. And then I was telling him, like, oh man, he was telling me how scary it was, which at the time, it made me want to watch it more. I understand that's crazy, but I was 13, you know what I'm saying? And so one of my homeboys let me borrow the video, and I had it in my room. I was gonna watch it. One thing led to another. I was like, "Where is this movie? Where is this? I can't." I asked my brother. I was like, "Hey, Tony, his name Tony." I said, "Tony, you seen the Exorcist movie?" Nah, I haven't. Right. 2 years later, I'm cleaning out the garage. Not cleaning out the garage. I'm cleaning out the bedroom closet, and I see the tape broken, ripped up. You know, back then VHS, you could flip the thing in and then pull out the stuff.
I remember.
I seen that, and I was like, "Oh, he ain't got to tell me. He ripped that tape up."
Corey, so thanks for your eyes.
Yeah, it triggers something for him, and so I get it.
You know, as parents, you got to be smart too. We're the type of parents. We went to go see Beetlejuice, because my daughter, she liked the original one. Grace is 8, and she likes the original Beetlejuice and stuff, and so she wanted to see the second one. I said, well, hang on a second. Things are a little different now whenever stuff comes out from Hollywood and people say, oh, it's good for kids. You know what I mean? Right. So like, well, we'll be the determining factor whether or not you watch this and stuff. And so, you know, my husband and I went to go see it just to make sure I'm still in the air about it. And she knows that. She bothers me all the time. When am I going to see it? You know, I don't know. We'll talk about it. You know, Daddy and I will pray about it first, because you know, we don't know. As parents, we can discern stuff. You know, right. Kids are impressionable.
And their imagination is still free. It's not contained, where they can really realize like this isn't real and this is real.
So,
Dr. Poole,
be smart before you let your kids watch stuff. You know,
exactly. I made that mistake and let my kids watch Doctor Strange. What is it? The Madness Doctor Strange movie.
The Something Worlds.
It's the second Doctor Strange movie. And I thought it was okay, but it flipped them out because
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, and it was like they had zombie heroes and stuff like that. I was like, whoa! I was not ready for them to see that. They weren't ready because they were like in a theater like this, and I'm sitting up there just shaking my head. It was almost like the don't do as I say, but not as I do. Like I should not have done this. I felt real bad.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
Dr. Poole said religious and spiritual people don't supposed to be in those movies, even though it's all about their religion. He said, I grew up without being in church or having a super church family. So stuff about the church fascinated me. And that's how you found out about it, through watching those movies. That's interesting. Maybe Dr. Poole, we gotta have you come up on the show and explain some of that, because you know what I'm saying. I would like to hear your take on how these movies intrigues you. But so, and you know, you're Dr. Poole. For all those who don't know, Dr. Poole is a friend and family member of the TS show, technically speaking show. So he's, you know what I'm saying. He's probably gonna be on within the next couple weeks or so, just to give us some feedback on that too. Because I always wanted to know why people like scary movies. Just, you know what I'm saying. What is it? Is it the boo in you, or is it the, you know what I'm saying? It's
like that. They like that scare for some reason. This is the same reason people go to like the 13th floor in these crazy haunted houses.
Yeah, I don't do haunted houses. Bless you. I've had too many encounters with things that is not that too many spiritual encounters where I feel like I'm okay. I'm good, because I know there's a difference between dark and
I have
evil.
bad reactions. I know I'm that person that will probably hit and be like, I'm so sorry. Like I wasn't my flight.
So there's the fight, flight, and freeze. You're the fighter.
I was like, I did not mean to punch you. And I've told people, like, don't do stupid stuff and scare me, because you'll get hit, because that's my first reaction.
Right. Is protection. Right. Mine, I freeze. I ain't gonna lie. I remember one time, my pops, he was like, he used to scare me around the house and stuff when I was a kid. And one time I scared him and he punched the shit out of me. He was like, I was like, because he was around the corner and I was around the corner, and I heard him coming up the stairs, and then I was like, boom, and he was like, I was like, oh, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, son, I didn't mean to. I was like, it's okay, but I learned.
Quick throw punch changed your life, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I realized, like, look, there's a fight, flight, and freeze. I'm a freezer. Like, somebody scared me one time. I think it was my kid, and I was like, they're like, Daddy, I'm processing. Give me a minute. You just scared the shit out of me, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do next. But you know what I'm saying? We got another topic for Make It Make Sense. Don't believe fat meat is greasy. All right, this right here. Wait, hold on. Dr. Poole said, "Gotta see, you gotta have your reflexes sharp and ready." Yeah, bro. That's fight, flight, and freeze. I can't do it. It's all about building up that tolerance. That means you gotta continue to get scared. That's not happening for me, bro. That's not. But fat meat, don't believe fat meat greasy. That means that if in our term, you know what I'm saying, you gonna F around and find out. F-O. You know what I'm saying? I tell my kids this all the time. Quit. Stop. Don't. When it comes to certain things around the house. One time, my daughter was playing and she burnt her hand. I was like, see, you don't believe fat means greasy, but now you found out. And they was like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it means. We have a kettle where we boil water, right? And I'm like, don't touch the kettle. Leave the kettle alone. And she was like, okay. But she was like, guess she was playing with it. Boom. Touched it, burned her. Like, don't believe fat meat is greasy. I'm telling you this from experience. I've done this before. Look at the marks on my arm. I burnt myself several times. Don't do it. I paved the way so you don't have to, Sway.
Man, kids, sometimes they gotta learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent, you can only do so much to prevent stuff from happening to them. You know, some of the things are just life experiences. You're like, you know what? You don't believe me? Go ahead, touch the hot stove.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Go ahead. You know, I encourage you not to, but you know, I'm not exactly walking around the house trying to lie to you either. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Experience is the best teacher, and if you don't want to believe me, have at it with experience. Moving right along. So, Lieutenant Dan. True survivor.
We got Joseph Malinowski out in Tampa, Florida. He has been dubbed Lieutenant Dan on social media.
Yeah.
He survived Hurricane Milton on a 20-foot sailboat, folks. 20-foot sailboat. You know, Lieutenant Dan, what is going on with this guy? So Malinowski, he drew nationwide interest and concern over his highly publicized decision to ride out Hurricane Helene and Milton on his vessel. He chose to remain in the boat despite several attempts from officials to evacuate him. He had a lot of followers and they offered him shelter, you know, in their own homes, in a hotel. He turned them down. He said, no, thank you. You know, and he just kind of blew up and you know, he skyrocketed to national attention after this. And TikTok creator Terrence Concannon posted a series of videos about his experience riding out Hurricane Helene. And as Hurricane Milton was coming down onto Tampa, you know, Lieutenant Dan Malinowski, he posted to his social media that you know, that he wasn't worried and he was good. His boat rocked and shaked against the rain and the wind. And you know, NBC News reached out to him wanting to comment,
right? And
asked how he was doing. He said, "I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay. Who does that?
You know, that's a man right there. I'm gonna tell you. If there ever is a 40-day, 40-night rain coming, if God gives me a sign, I'm gonna find me a Lieutenant Dan. I'm like, bruh, we need to build the ark. A storm is brewing because we got to do something. But look, I actually
bring the chickens, leave the roaches behind.
Exactly. I actually got some footage for us to share, so we can be able to watch it. All right, Lieutenant Dan. All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay. Boom.
What he's doing right now. So let me introduce you to this guy, Tampa Terrace. He's the guy who basically made Lieutenant Dan. Think of him as the Hawk Tuah interview guy, and Dan is Hawk Tuah girl. Now let's talk about this guy, Check the Star. Think of him as Mr. Based and Dan as World of T-Shirts. Because after Terrence made Dan famous, this guy came in and essentially tried to take advantage of Dan's new fame. Now after hanging out with Check the Star for a while, Dan started to turn on...
Okay, that wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But look, you know, Lieutenant Dan, salute you, my friend. Wait a minute, we got some more. Lieutenant Dan's story from start to finish. Let's go. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Dan has now lost everything, including his boat. So now that this saga is over, let me tell y'all from start to finish the story about a man named Lieutenant Dan. So Dan was just chilling one day when a guy named Tampa Terrence happened to notice him and wanted to help him out. Now Dan accepted this help and quickly became very popular on social media. Now this popularity attracted the attention of a person named Check the Star, who noticed that Dan not only had a huge GoFundMe thanks to Terrence, a very lucrative kick deal thanks to Terrence, and he was getting interview after interview again thanks to Terrence. Now Check, seeing this, decided that he wanted to turn Dan against Terrence, and that's exactly what he did. Because after meeting Check, Dan started to do things like accusing Terrence of taking $100 from his GoFundMe.
All right. Yeah. Here's the thing. Interesting. That they want to kick a man down when he's up. You know, I wasn't expecting all that, but I Lieutenant Dan,
that story definitely had a twist in it.
Yeah, it does. But the thing is, this man survived not one hurricane, two, and he garnered a lot of attention. But one thing he said made me believe he's a man of faith. He said, you know what I'm saying? He said something about God got him.
Oh, yeah.
And God did have him. Because you can't, there was a lot. I mean, look, this hurricane was massive, okay? It was massive. But for a man to be confident, and then it was like, yeah. Matter of fact, Dr. Poole said, I'm not gonna say that. Like, he got a lot going on here. He said, think that guy was holding fast to his religious morals. Wasn't he something about something? I think he's saying something about knowing the art. Not sure, but I truly believe that the man lived life on the edge. He had one leg, right? But he was living life to the fullest. And he felt strongly that he was going to survive this, and he did. I just hate that he said the news reports that are shown on YouTube by actual news agencies said a pretty good job. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. We needed to hear some good news out of this whole situation, because what happened in Florida, it was a travesty. You know what I'm saying? There was prayers and thoughts out to those who were lost and those who lost homes and things they can never get back. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish that on anybody. So to hear some good news that come out of any of that, let's celebrate that, because the man still is alive. He's still here. And I'm pretty sure somebody will go ahead and say, you know what? Let's get this man's story and let's stop getting it from the TikToker. Let's somebody, you know what I'm saying? Michael Moore, not Cisco and Ebert. I'm sorry. Michael Moore, one of the producers, Steven Spielberg. Somebody gets his story and bring it to life on the big screen, because that right there is inspirational and motivational to me.
Yep. Shout out to Lieutenant Dan, Mr. Mom.
Shout out to Lieutenant Dan. All right, so those of our peoples who are receiving Social Security benefits, there's a hiccup and a good thing coming, but it's still a hiccup. You will be getting 2 payments in the month of November, but no payments in the month of December. So I know because my mother get disability, so I know that when she gets her disability, she has a routine of paying everything throughout the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Make sure everything's covered. However, November, you're going to get one in the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. I tell everybody, let's not be caught off guard. Still handle your business like normal, because of the fact that
pay your bills, have your lights shut off during winter.
Ooh, and your gas and your heat off. You don't want that.
No, you don't want
the problems.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
And what's your take on that, Bobby?
About Social Security doing that?
Yeah.
I remember not too long ago, my mom started getting Social Security, and she gets like your VA disability, and she was telling me she didn't like being paid like on the 26th. She wanted to get paid on like the 2nd or the 3rd because different things, inflation happening everywhere, cost of groceries. She was struggling with groceries, and so but don't worry, I took care of her. She always ate. She good. But she told me she didn't like it because she felt like it wouldn't she couldn't stretch it. Those extra 4 or 5 days made a difference, I guess.
Right.
Felt like she couldn't stretch it. So, just encourage you to be smart. Be smart about your money. Always pay your bills first. Get those bills taken care of and stuff, and do your best to find ways to I want to say penny pinch, but be frugal. It's okay. Be frugal.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Go coupon.
And the thing about it is it's happening in December, which is the end of the year, end of the month. They won't end of the year, end of the month. Mm-hmm. In December, they won't receive any benefits, financial benefits, which will be a burden because that's when you want to go and do the shopping for your loved ones. That's when you want to go and get the things done for your family, the surprise gifts and stuff like that. However,
can I tell you what I do?
What do you do?
Let me tell you what I do. I've been doing this for a few years now.
Okay. This is some news we can use. Go ahead.
This is news you can use. October 1st, I actually start Christmas shopping. Amazon, like, the 8th and 9th of October, they had like Amazon Prime Day deals and stuff like that. And so there's lots of good deals on Christmas gifts. And so what I do is every single paycheck prior to Christmas, I actually knock out 2 or 3 people that are on my list.
Okay.
So what that does is it stretches out, your finances. And because a lot of people do wait till December to go Christmas shopping, come December 25th, everybody's got gifts, but you got no money. Right. That's not going to be helpful for anybody and stuff. So, things have changed. Obviously, we're living in a more digital age. And so for my older nieces and nephews, I always tell them, give me your Amazon wish list. That's too easy. Make an Amazon wish list, send it to your tia. Let me pick out a few things on them and get them shipped over to me, and I hang on to them until Christmas. That's it.
There you go. So I think that's
do some early Christmas shopping. So.
That is news that you can use, and it's a smart way of doing things because of the fact the traditional way of doing things is people wait till Black Friday, right? And they go for broke, and then those who go for broke, if they don't have it during Black Friday, they wait till the last 2 weeks of Christmas to buy stuff and start wrapping things. Dr. Poole said, "Is Social Security a thing? Something that nationwide, or is it only affecting certain states like California?" No, it's nationwide. It's nationwide. It's nationwide. It's a nationwide thing because of the fact that the calendar lines up the way it does.
Yeah.
But we definitely need to talk more about how we could be able to take advantage of the time, not the money that we have before Christmas. Because if we had the time before Christmas, I know I've been Christmas shopping since the summer. Like, I got stuff that I know that the first Amazon Prime Day, which was in July, I got stuff like that from there. And then
I will say this though, when stuff comes in, open up those boxes, put it somewhere safe, label the gift, because I have been after Christmas. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I knew there were gifts somewhere else in here, and I ended up finding Christmas.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I have had that happen, but you know what too? I've actually always been a Black Friday shopper. I never fought over anything because I always thought that was stupid, but I did show up early, and thankfully my husband, he would go with me too, because we got really good deals. When you talk about an $800 item became a $400 item and stuff, we would take advantage of stuff like that. Although we didn't, you know what I mean? Like that was huge. That's a huge savings and stuff. So, but things have changed. Now I've noticed that Walmart, Target, Best Buy, If you go to www.blackfriday.com, you can actually pull up all of the Black Friday ads.
Yes.
You can comparison shop. This is really good news you can use. If you're a bargain hunter like me, my husband and I will tell you, we will not pay full price for anything, and I don't care if you know it.
Right.
Don't pay full price. Bargain hunt. Go out there. We actually have a store here in San Antonio. I think it's like an Amazon type of resale store called Black Friday Deals. I have gotten so many like Apple Watch bands and stuff. They're like $13 on Amazon, getting them for 50 cents. No lie, 50 cents.
That's amazing.
You know, depending on what day of the week you go. But I was going somewhere with this. But go comparison shop on blackfriday.com. Go check out those ads. You know, Amazon's got the big toy book. I know because we got it in the mail a week ago. And
me too. I got mine the other day.
Several things circled from the girls already that want stuff and everything. But you know, you can actually go and put all the Black Friday stuff. I don't know if you know this. You can go and put Black Friday stuff that's going to be on the ad in your cart.
Yep.
So Black Friday comes, you just check out, make sure all those prices change like they're supposed to.
Yep.
And boom, you taking care of business. You didn't even leave the house. You didn't have to put on a bra, y'all.
You had to put on no bra.
It was a good thing.
So here's the thing. You know what? You are absolutely 100% right. Now, me personally, when it comes to, I don't do big ticket items, period. People know, like, if what they'll get, if it's something bigger than $100 besides my wife, it's going to be a gift card. Because I believe that I like TVs and stuff. I bought my mom a TV and she complained about it when I bought it. And I was like, you know what? Never again. I bought her a nice 40-inch TV because she had a small box TV. And she was like, well, this TV is too big. I can't understand how to use it. I bought it for her Black Friday. Yeah. Which is Friday after Thanksgiving. I went over there on Monday, set it up. She called me on Wednesday telling me she didn't like the TV because she didn't know how to work it. She then said, can I return it on Friday? I was like, this was a surprise. It was actually supposed to be a Christmas gift, but I was like, it's Black Friday. I don't want to keep it in my house. I'm just going to give it to her. And me and my brother, we was like, are we going to wrap it or are we not going to wrap it? But no, let's just put it there. Let's leave it there. And when she said she wanted to return it, I was like, see? Then that was the only big ticket item I ever bought for somebody else outside of me. And I got the TV for like you said, normally they about $600-700. I got it for $400. Great deal. No, I think I got it for less than. It's a 50-inch. It was a 50-inch Sony QLED, so it was about $400 or $500. And
you know what? I'll tell you something else too. So it's giving you news that you can use. If you go and look at the Walmart Black Friday ads, another thing to be conscious of if you're trying to save some money, their tires are on sale. Their tires are on sale. I remember having a friend say, "No, I'm waiting for Black Friday to give me some tires," because
for real.
They were on sale. You know, you would go from paying, you can get a good $80 Goodyear tire for your vehicle compared to paying the $110. So you go for, 4 tires, $320 compared to like $540 that you could have paid, elsewhere and stuff. So even if it sounds a little silly, man, go get you some tires. You never know. You never know when you're going to need that tires.
I always renew my subscriptions. So here's the thing about me. I always get subscriptions on Black Friday. And here lately, like last week, I was looking at all my subscriptions that's going to end, like Paramount, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus. I'm like, all these subscriptions are going to end the week after Black Friday. Here's some news you can use. Created me a new Gmail account. Black Friday rolled around. Sign in with that Gmail account and sign up for those subscriptions. Instead of last year, I got Peacock for $19.99 for the entire year. I had got Hulu for 99 cents for the entire year. I got Disney Plus for $13.99 every month. And I had got, that's it. I had got HBO for $9.99, and then I had Paramount with Showtime for $10.99.
So if I'm not mistaken, right now my cellular service, we have T-Mobile, and we actually get Netflix and Hulu for free, I think.
Right, you do, yeah.
Almost part of, which is good. You talk, money saving. Everybody's looking to not necessarily cut corners, but you got to cut costs. At the end of the day, how bad do you need to watch, Netflix? How bad?
Because honestly, I cut the cord. Me and my wife don't have regular cable. All we have is streaming. So
yeah.
And it actually works out better. I used to pay $280 a month for cable.
Heck no.
And
but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what I did was I bought the internet package only, which was $50 at the time. It went up to $20 over the last year, $10 each year, because of the fact, I guess, we had a promo. But when you buy all those subscriptions, $13.99, so $14, an additional $1, and then $10. So that's 14, 11, that's 25, $26. That's less than $100 for streaming service and a one-time payment of $19.99 for the entire year. And I still watch football. The only thing I can't watch is basketball. I can't watch basketball. But I got YouTube. I watch the highlights on YouTube because I can't really sit down and watch a game anyway. I got kids, and my kids will not let me spend that much time with them.
We used to have YouTube TV, which is like another version of like having cable. YouTube TV, I do recommend it, but it got so expensive.
It got expensive.
You had to cut the cord on it.
Yeah,
and it sucked because just this last week I'm over here feeling stupid having to go online to watch the Cowboys play because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan right here too.
So I was pissed because I couldn't watch the game on the TV. So I'm screaming into my phone while I'm trying to fold clothes. Right. I don't like that. I wanted to watch it on your TV, and I was frustrated.
Well, keep in mind with the Apple, you got the TV share, so you can just swipe down and share that bad boy screen, and boom. You just got to keep your phone sideways like this.
Yeah. And I had it set up on a little thing of towels, and so I was like, man, I was so frustrated.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Talking to me, I'm like, you see me trying to watch the game, right? You see me. I'm the only one in my house that watches football. My husband's not a.
He's not a Cowboys fan?
No, well, it's not that he's not a Cowboys fan. He's just like, meh.
Yeah, sports.
It's him. But he did my very first Dallas Cowboys game. We went to go see the Cowboys against the Vikings in August of 2015. And nice. He proposed to me at the game. He got really good seats. Yeah, he got really good seats. And it was cool too because they were offering like customized jerseys for like, I don't know, like $100 or something like that. So we ended up going down to the Cowboys store, and he's like, "Oh, you should get a jersey. You should get a jersey." At this time, he hadn't proposed at this time. Right. And just a sidebar conversation. Let our viewers know. But he was like, we should put Lopez on the back of it, which is my last name, put Lopez on the back of it. He's like, well, what number should we put? Well, it was August 29th. It was 3 days after my birthday, but it was also DeMarco Murray's number. So I was like, oh, two birds with one stone, the 29th and Murray's number. So we ended up putting 29 on there, and in the
nice.
In the fourth quarter or so, the boys are in a huddle. And I'm watching, seeing the next play. My husband's like, "Oh, I want to get a picture of us." I said, "Okay, well, let's hurry up because you got the next play going." And he hands the lady behind us his phone and stuff, and she says, "Well, it's rolling." And he whispers in my ear, tells me something, and I remember what he said, but I'm not going to tell you what he said.
Yeah, anyway, that's it.
No, I'm just playing. He tells me, sorry to do this to you here. And I kind of like looked at him like, what? If you follow me on Facebook, I share our video every single year. Every single year of him proposing to me at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and stuff and everything. So yeah, so he proposed to me and everything in the third quarter. So anyways,
wow.
So yeah, and then at the end of all that,
we got some Cowboy haters on here. Dr. Cool, man, I love you, brother, but the Cowboys do not suck. We just need to get no team is going to win every game, all the time. So Cowboys don't suck, bro. It's any given Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We had our run in the 90s. Hopefully we get another run in the 2020s, 2020s. If we don't, it's cool. We are who we are. Cowboys fans.
Listen, when you're a fan, you're a fan. There's some people who want to jump on bandwagons, but listen, our family, we've always bled silver and blue. We always have. I got family in New Mexico that have been Dallas Cowboys fans. Our entire family are Cowboys fans.
That's what I'm talking about. When I come down out there to Texas, I'm gonna come to the Cowboys game with you guys.
Okay.
I want to be able to I want to have my jersey because I don't know, two Cowboys fans.
Stadium is legit.
Didn't they redo it in like the early 2000s?
They did. It's really cool too because when the weather's really nice, they open up the rooftop and stuff, and so it's one of those where it's like an expanding rooftop. But if it's real cold outside, so they can play in decent temperatures and stuff. You know, because I hate seeing some of those where like they're playing outside in the field and they're playing like it's straight snow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. Look, kudos to them.
That's in Green Bay. I remember watching the game. I don't know who was playing, but it was Green Bay and somebody, and they were in Green Bay, and I seen people out there. They had the cheese on their head, the Wisconsin cheese on their head. They had no shirt on, but they were dripping green and gold. And I was like, you gotta be cold, because it was freezing, it was snowing. But I was like, oh God, that's a diehard fan, really, because you gonna die hard like that. It's literally
a guy doing what he loves, you know, like
you know what I'm saying.
That's
found his corpse at the Green Bay game.
You know, you're paying to freeze your butt off, like
exactly.
That's pretty good. All right, that's pretty good. I'll sit over here in my decent temperatures with a star on my chest and be like, hey, all right, we're here to fight another day.
Exactly, right. All right, so you know what? It looks like it's let's go to the freestyle section. I know we didn't put this on the agenda, but you know what? I think this is something we can talk about.
Yeah.
Boy, former President Donald Trump. Would you like fries with that? And talk to me about it. I saw a picture online where he's at a McDonald's. Can you give us some more elaborate on that? Please, Bobby, tell us about
it. So Trump was in Pennsylvania this past week, and as you know, his rally in July in Butler, Pennsylvania, was where the first assassination attempt took place, and so I think he's got a lot of love for Pennsylvania. You know what's interesting, when he had the second rally here recently in Butler again, they had a lot more people at that second rally than the first rally, which is interesting because you know what I mean, like people came in support of what happened and everything. So anyways, he was in Pennsylvania and he was working the drive-thru at McDonald's. He was handing out orders, he was taking orders, he was shoveling fries inside the containers. He was being a working man, you know, and
he was coming down to the level of the common folk, identifying with them.
So
didn't he do that? One of his presidency, he served like the White House staff McDonald's.
So actually, you know, you know what's funny? My daughter always tells me that. She goes, you know, he was serving McDonald's. I didn't know what she was talking about. It was a video that she had seen too. But yes, he did. He served McDonald's there. There was a time too where he was given a lot of flack because he didn't show up. I can't remember where it was. He didn't show up somewhere that normally presidents show up to. But if I'm not mistaken, it was something having to do with Christmas. But he was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to the troops there.
Wow.
Who were not there with his family. With their families. He was there serving the troops. In the military, we have a saying where when you lead from the front. You don't lead from the back, and you tell people, you stand in front and you take charge, right? So that's how we lead. But yeah, you know, coming down to the common folk, and which is good. You know, we should all be able to humble ourselves. Like I said, you know, no job, no matter what area of business you're in or where you sit. You know, there should be no job in that company that should ever be beneath you.
Right. Because, and I agree. Me working in a fast food barbecue restaurant, you know, I was literally my first year, I was working in the back just folding bread and putting napkins inside brown bags so people can have it with their barbecue.
Yeah.
And it's something about fast food restaurants. They humble you. They humble you because you come across the rich, the poor, the haves, and the have-nots, right? And they have one thing in common. They want to eat. And I truly understand that we as a people should understand that we have so many similarities than differences. You know, regardless of politics, Donald Trump wanted to serve fries. That's cool. He's trying to, and nothing's wrong with that. I think that, you know what I'm saying? Again, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I understand your stance for Donald Trump, and I respect it. And that's why I wanted you to speak on it, because of the fact that you gotta, for a man to be able to say, you know what, let me go ahead and I want these people vote, but I want to earn it.
Yeah.
Let me go to where they are. Right.
I had a talk today with a friend of mine, and she and I both agreed. I love her dearly. I work with her. I won't say her name. She's a very beautiful Black lady. She and I sit next to each other, and we have so much in common. And we were talking about that today, and we both said that this election has obviously interfered with a lot of people's lives because everything is so divisive. Everything is so very, very black and white.
Right.
And it shouldn't be. I think the idea of somebody being black or somebody being white is more of a social contract, a social like construct, because at the end of the day, every single one of us are different shades of brown. And there is no white or black. We're just different shades of brown is all it is. And not one person is better than the other. But this is not a personality contest. I always tell people you want to be able to vote with what you think is obviously the best way forward for the country, and it can't just be a one issue thing. You have to look at the whole scope of every single policy. Say, can I support this? Can I get behind this? And I'm not. There's going to be a lot of people that don't think like me, but that's okay. The beauty of our country is that we can have a civil disagreement, but still be kind to each other.
Be kind. Exactly.
You can still do this.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to be kind to people, even if you have a full-on disagreement with maybe how they're living their lives. Be kind. Right. You don't have to walk around being a jerk because you disagree with how somebody's living their lives. There's no reason for that.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, folks, Jesus loves you as much as he does me.
There you go.
With all of our flaws.
With all of our flaws and all.
Flaws and all.
And so just to get to the there's one more thing I want to talk about. Yeah. I guess it is within the construct of the political spectrum. Yeah. So Elon Musk, he is giving all you have, and he didn't say it's for Trump. Based off of what I read, it's saying anybody who signs up. Anybody. Yeah. They he's giving them $1 million raffle for these last how many days, like 10 days till it's time to vote. And I was like, that's good. I mean, he's a billionaire, he can do that. I mean, $1 million to him is like $1 to us, literally. Right. The question is, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame now, I'm back in frame. The information that you have to give, how does that affect you? Because that's $1 million. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or independent. If you sign up for something, you got to in order to win something, you got to give up some information. You got to give up your ID information, verification who you are, and all that stuff. So then there's a database of people who actually, signed up to be in this raffle for $1 million. What happens after this raffle is over? Let's say Donald Trump wins, and that's because Elon Musk, obviously he's a Donald Trump supporter, right?
Yeah, he's endorsed him.
So what does he do with that information with the winners? And then what does he do with the information for those who didn't win.
So I read about this today, and because people were talking about like what's the legality of it, basically.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that if you go to the link, you're actually signing a petition, I believe, to register to vote. But if you've ever registered to vote, I actually did recently for a friend of mine, because she was like, I've never voted before, but I'm going to this time. I was like, thank God. And she just little by little, after talking to her for a while, she's a Christian too, but she's like, I don't know what to do. She's lost in the political world and not understanding that, how we vote affects our daily lives,
Right.
So I encourage people to, obviously everybody needs to get out and vote, U.S. citizens only, but just to be clear, let's follow the laws here.
Right.
I helped her fill out her voter registration stuff recently, and you have to give up your driver's license, your address, your date of birth. I'm trying to remember if she had to put in her social security number, but I don't believe she did.
Right.
No social security number, but you do have to give up PII, right? So this personally identifiable information, so tied to her.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, this petition was to register to vote. But then I think you had to show proof of registration, which doesn't have any information on it other than you're registered to vote, confirmed successful, like a screenshot of that, I guess.
Right.
I'm not sure how people were being entered into it, but then, the topic was coming up was, is this legal? Are you paying people to vote?
Right.
But other people who are non-biased were coming in and saying, well, no, because I don't plan on voting for Trump, but my name got put into the raffle. I'm like, okay, that's good to know. They just want voter turnout. They want people to turn out and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, and I get that. They don't want people to sway that, but the question that I have is, let's say, for instance, you have 1 million people enter this ballot, because $1 million is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's life-changing money, right?
Yeah.
And
if you use it correctly, but yes.
Yeah, if you use it correctly. I mean, but somebody who works at McDonald's, not talking about Trump, but somebody who works at McDonald's, they get $1 million. It's changing their life. Mm-hmm. They're not going to work at McDonald's anymore. I don't think they would. Maybe they want to because of the fact they want to have a sense of doing something. But they're not going to tell nobody they made $1 million. But I say that to say this. All this information is being stored and getting from one individual, right? Mm-hmm. Who he's the richest man on the planet.
I think Bill Gates is, but Elon is up there.
No, I think Elon is up there. I think he passed Bill Gates a couple years ago.
Did he?
Let's fact check it. We got Google.
I was about to say, I was like, hey, let's do that. Because there's literally no sense in arguing about something you could just look up real quick.
Richest person in the world in 2024. Elon Musk.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who I know Oprah's up there too.
Oprah is the richest woman is no. I don't even think Oprah's nowhere near. She's just a billionaire. The youngest richest person in the world is 19-year-old, who's Olivia Voigt, who is a 1.1 billionaire. Let me see. Let's see.
Who is that?
I don't know. Minority stake in electrical equipment company WEG. Co-founded by his late grandfather. So he inherited. Who is the richest top 10 people? Let's do that. Mm-hmm. Who is the richest top 10 people in the world? I mean, in the world 2024. Yeah, buddy. Jeff Bezos is Bernard Arnault. Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna share the screen with you. Share the screen. Let's go ahead. Since we're talking about this, I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. Remember that song?
Yeah. Buy all of the
The things I've never had. Okay, so here we go. Elon Musk,
Number one.
$242.6 billion. That's gonna drop to like what? 0.2 by the end of the election.
Man, can't even fathom that. But yes, that $1 million be like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. But Jeff Bezos, $211.6 billion. Mm-hmm. Bernard Arnault and family in French, $198.9 billion. Larry Ellison, $176.3 billion. Let's see. Okay.
Don't accept the cookies.
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, $174.5 billion. Larry Page, Bill Gates is $135.1 billion. Steve Ballmer, Clippers owner, who just opened up a new tech arena over in Inglewood, $135.
The LA Clippers.
Yeah, the LA Clippers. Warren Buffett, 131.9. He probably gonna be lower because of that outage that happened with Bank of America. Yeah, Mukesh Ambani, India, 1.237 billion. Dang. Now, if that's 1.237 billion, I wonder how much does that equate to American? Because then he may not be in this.
In India, they use the rupees.
Right,
as a form of currency. So this is probably, I imagine this is everything in US dollars.
Yes.
So 1.23 123.7 billion, that's a lot to us, but that's like changing a whole country over there. You know what I mean? That type of money.
And Jim Walton and family, 87, and that's the Walmart family.
Yeah.
And then this is and Rob Walton and family, which is another division of the Walmart family. So yeah, that's a lot of money there. What happens? Let's just answer this question because we're about to wrap this up. Mm-hmm. What happens when you have all the money in the world? What is your goal now? Because clearly they have enough money to change the entire United States. Every one of those individuals can change the United States. Now, I understand that that's how much money they're worth. That's not how much money, liquid assets they have to be able. Because if you're a billionaire, I do know it takes at least 100 million for you to run your day-to-day business, because there's checks and balances, lawyers, fees, employees, and people that need to get paid. But if you had $1 billion, you have enough to change the world. What would you do?
You're asking me personally, what would I do?
Personally, what would you do if you had $1 billion, just $1 billion? I think $1 billion could be suffice.
I mean, obviously, immediately pay off my sisters, my mom's homes. Mm-hmm. Get them out of debt. Listen, a large amount of that would go to my church.
Okay.
And funding missions trips around the world, because I really want to go on a missions trip, before I die, and stuff. So being able to be the hands and feet of Jesus, right. So like a lot of money would go into missions, and at the end of the day, I would want purpose for my life, and I think that I would want to leave a legacy and be like, what was I known for? I want to be known for loving people. Right. I want to be known for being generous, for being able to change lives of those around me. While that's not something I have to do, that's something I want to do. I want to see people prosper. I want to see people begin to be able to turn that blessing around and bless others because they were blessed. And I want that continue to flow. When we talk about changing the world, we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. Exactly. We can't sit back and be like, you should change the world. Well, from this spot that I'm sitting in, how can I do that?
Right.
I want to be that change. You
Be
know,
the change you want to see.
always be the change. You know what I mean? And if you can't find it, the nice person or the kind person or the generous person, be that nice, kind, generous
Right.
person. You know, that's
You
really
know what I would do?
it. What would you do?
I would do two things. First, because money, having that amount of money is extremely dangerous.
Mhm.
If you
You would
don't
never
have,
know that I have that money.
right? No, I'm talking about for me. Like,
Yeah.
if I had that amount of money, I know that it would be dangerous for me because now I have access to things that I've only dreamt of and some
Mhm.
things that I probably never even thought of, right? So what I would do is I would definitely pay my tithes, leave a big offering, and then not just to my, I pay my tithes in my church, but I would pay offering to other churches and
Churches.
ministries.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I would definitely seek a financial advisor, get a trust, and start a family bank
Mhm.
because family bank um allows me to control how my estate can obtain wealth, right?
Mhm.
Like how the Rockefellers did.
I was just about to say, this is what the Rockefellers do, and what people don't understand about generational
Generational
wealth.
wealth. Yeah, like
This
like
is
the
this
Vanguards
is
and
how
Rockefeller.
smart rich people stay rich.
Yeah,
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
hate the game.
Right?
And I and you know what? It's funny that you said that because I went to a seminar, and the seminar was called Money Is. You know what I'm saying? Money is a game. And
Yeah.
they teach you how to effectively pay less in taxes or no taxes with the companies that you have. Because I mean, by IRAs, using them the proper way, the right way. Maybe we could do a segment on it because I know quite a few people in that realm having self-directed accounts that allows you to be able to benefit off of tax. You know what I'm saying? Off of tax benefits, and not only that, not be so, what's the phrase? Be so ignorant with so much money, right?
Yeah.
I probably, just for my own sanity, would keep the same type of lifestyle I have. I definitely would move.
I wouldn't move out of my house. This is
Oh
it.
no, I would move. I
Like
would
this.
move.
This is my retirement home. I love my home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not something.
Yeah, because you have like a home, right? I'm in a townhome. So I would need a backyard for my babies, and then I would probably
No, I own property. I own property, so it's different.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the thing. I only own the building. The property I don't.
No.
And so with that being said, that I am a homeowner. However, there's restrictions. I would literally buy me a land where I can be able to have my kids play in the background, play in the backyard. I can grow vegetables and do stuff like that because I always wanted to.
Now. I live where there's no restrictions. I can do whatever the hell I want on my property, and no, I don't have to get permits. I don't have to ask for permission. We've been doing so much stuff here. I don't have to ask anybody for permission, and that's real freedom right there. You know what I mean? That's real freedom.
And that's what I would want to experience. Because I realized you asked me this question 10 years ago. I've been like, I want to buy a private jet, this and that. I do, however, and I will always say, and until I have it,
I didn't even think about that. You know, that didn't
private jet.
cross my mind. Yeah, like something like that didn't even cross my mind.
The reason being because I hate flying. I hate flying at inconvenience rate. I'm a big size dude, so when I buy a seat, sometimes those seats are uncomfortable. And then I want to be able to look at the plane take off and go in the air. Look how the sky looks from a plane, and then land and stuff, things like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to go somewhere and not. I mean, I do it now when I go on vacation because I properly plan it. But when I go on vacation, I don't have to worry about what I'm buying. I don't have to worry about what I'm spending because of the fact that I properly planned it. But I want to be able to have effective change in my entire family. Like that family banking, that right there, that is the key. That's the key, because now if my family wants to buy a home, they don't have to go to a Wells Fargo to finance it. They can go through the family bank and finance it. That way now that property is under my bank, the family bank. And once it's paid off, that money goes back into the property. Goes back into the family bank, and that property now goes to my children after they pay it off. Or
I think aside from paying off debt, definitely investing in like real estate, purchasing.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, because that's how you keep the wealth going.
Yes.
If you're smart, when you come into a large amount of money, and you know what I mean, like you can be smart, and that's a residual income.
Yes.
There will always be an income and stuff, and so, again, don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't be mad at the tax loopholes that people take advantage of, because if they weren't there to begin with, we wouldn't be crying and complaining about how rich people are even rich to begin with.
There you go.
Can you be mad at them? Because if you were in their shoes, you would just tell us, hey, be quiet. If you wanted it too, you'd be out here hustling for it.
Right. Now, see, that I agree partially.
Sure.
Because I do believe in sharing the wealth of knowledge. Now,
sharing knowledge. Okay, that's different.
Yeah. Sharing knowledge. Because here's the thing: if I find out a way that something that can help somebody, especially that can help them go to the next financial level in their life, by all means, I'm gonna help them. I'm going to tell them and show them. The onus is upon them to take action, right? So nobody can never say that, hey, Corey, you never helped me. Yes, I did. I gave you the tools, I gave you the benefits, I gave you the roadmap, and I told you what to do. Yeah. I'm not going to hold your hand to it because you're an adult. Right. I'm not going to spoon feed you your success, because then now your success relies
100%.
Exactly.
So, I'll give you some news you can use. You're welcome to take it with a grain of salt. I talk about what success looks like, because it looks like something different for everybody.
Everyone. Yeah.
I tell my kids, and I've talked to my nephews who are older, and I have told them, how do you know that you've obtained success? What does that look like for everybody? Some people it's money, it's cars, it's jewelry, it's all sorts of stuff. But I tell you what, it doesn't come easy. And I always say this, it's the 3 S to success. There's 3 S's involved. Very first is going to be your foundational S. That's going to be salvation. When you know who your resource is and you're willing to tap into that resource, everything else is going to be not easy, but all attainable. It is. Yeah. The next, the next S, you're going to have to struggle. People, and this is the biggest thing. You can be a Christian and struggle and give up. You can absolutely do it. The pain of being able to move forward, it's hard. It's hard getting up. It's hard in the struggle. You know what I mean? But in the struggle is where you build resilience. It's where you build character.
Yes, it does.
How do you get back up from those failures and what that looks like? And the last S is sacrifice. You have to be willing to either give up time or money to get to what that looks like. Don't give up yourself. Do not give up your soul.
Don't give up your soul.
But time and money, absolutely. Money you can get back, time you can't. So be wise about the time that you spend.
Yes.
In those things, and just know that success don't come without salvation, struggle, and sacrifice. It doesn't.
You know what? That is a good way to wrap up this episode. The 3 S's on how you deem success. Salvation, struggle, and sacrifice. I love it. So, we at the end of the rope, baby. It's time to drop off.
It is. Thank you so much for joining the Technically Speaking episode today, y'all. If you saw something that you liked, that you didn't like, put in the comments. If you see something that you want us to talk about that you think is important, let us know. We'd like to know. We want you to be open. We want you to know you can communicate with us. Let us know what you want to hear.
Right on. And look, make sure you click that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. That we here every Monday from 4:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 6:45 CT p.m. So that means that's Central Standard Time. Let me make that clear because CT could, some people may think Connecticut, and I'm not talking about Connecticut. Right. So
Here
in the meantime,
Texas, that's Central Standard Time.
yes. So in the meantime, in between time, this is Corey Giovanni, the main man with the master plan, and Bobby with a BOBBI because the Y is for a guy, giving you news that you can use. We are out.